Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari Yasoda Nandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dari Solanandana Bharidana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prabhupada Asta Tersa the Sri Srimad His Divine Grace the A.C. Bhakti Devi Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananda Gaura Vaishnava Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Prem Sika Host Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shivanavandam ki jai, Sri Nimai Pandit ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Go Premanandi, all glorious some devotees, all glorious some devotees, all glorious some devotees, all glorious Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This morning reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 31, text number 25. Etat te bhitang kshatar yan mam tvam pariprishtavan pachetasam naradasya sangvadang harikirtanam etat te bhitang kshatar yan mang thang pariprishtavan pachetasam naradasya sangvadhang harikirtanam eteta bhitang shatar yan mang thang pariprishtavan pachetasam naradasya Sangvadhang harikirtanam etate bhitang shatar yanmang tvam pariprishtavan pachetasam naradasya Sangvadhang harikirtanam etate bhitang shatar Pachetasam naradasya sangvadhang harikirtanam etate bhitang shatar pachetasam naradasya sangvadhang harikirtanam etate bhitang shatar and mam tvam pariprishtavan pachetasam naradasya sangvadam harikirtanam etat this te unto you abhihitam instructed kshata ovadura yet whatever mam unto me tvam you pariprishtavan inquired pachetasam of the pachetas naradasya of Narada sangvadham conversation harikirtanam describing the glories of the Lord Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. My dear Vidura, I have told you everything you wanted to know about the conversation between Narada and the bhaktas. The conversation describing the glories of the Lord. I have related this as far as possible. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam describes the glories of the Lord and His devotees. Because the whole subject matter is the glorification of the Lord, naturally the glorification of His devotees automatically follows. Om Jnana Jnana Salaka Chakshrum Litam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukam Kotava Chalang Pangam Banghayate Gurim Yat Kripa Talaham Bande Sri Gurum Dinadaranam Vanchakapatubhyascha Kripa Sindhudevacha Patitanam Bhavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam is the glorification of Krishna. And you know, there's a personality called Ananta Shesha who has many hoods. How many hoods? A lot of hoods. And he's been chanting the glories of Krishna for how long? Since time immemorial. And he has not come to an end. This is the greatness of Krishna. And Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, he explains some of his greatness. He says that Rasoham Absakonteya Prabhasmi Sasis Pranava Sarveda Sabdhake Purshamdash. I am the taste in water. One time I was in Mayapur and I tasted the best water I ever tasted, believe it or not, in India. Because this devotee had this water filter from the West and it was so good. I was thinking, finally I've tasted pure water. After 4.5 decades. But water, when it's pure, in the pure form, is very tasty. It's very nice. Yeah. So that's Krishna. The light and the sun and the moon. He's the light and the sun, just like sometimes you see, you're walking with devotees and the sun rises and devotees will pranam to the sun. Now sometimes they say, well, that's the Vibhishwan, but actually Krishna's the light and the sun and the moon, so it's respects to Krishna. Krishna is the light in the sun and the moon. Rasaham was called Prabhasmi, Sasi Surya, Pranava, Saraveda, on the syllable O in the Vedic mantras. The ability in man, Sabdake Purushamdashu. Just like now I'm speaking. But Krishna can take that away. Like there was a devotee, Urjaswat. He was giving class in Tucson, and he had a stroke. And they had to take him to hospital, I think. Couldn't continue speaking. And there was a devotee not long ago, he had a heart attack while he was giving class, right? In India. Oh, right afterwards. Yeah, so whatever ability we have, it can be taken away at any moment. He's the ability in man. So this is of course, Krishna, so many great qualities of Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo, I'm the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything is coming from Krishna. Yeah. Abilities that we may have coming from Krishna. Everything. Universes are coming from Krishna. He's a quite amazing personality. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam papartate. Itin madva bhavantim buddha bhava samanvata. from the source of all material and spiritual world. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly, they engage in my devotional service. So the more we're able to understand the greatness of Krishna, the more we'll want to serve him. But sometimes people think, well, God is so great, if I serve him, I'll get big returns. Because he's in control of everything. Not such a good mentality. Although it's true, and they're approaching God, they're serving God, but the fruitive mentality. And yahabilasita sunyam jnana karmadinavatam hariko yena krishnana silam bhaktirdam. The best way to serve Krishna is with no motive, no desire to enjoy the fruits of one's activities, or free of all mental speculation. Just the desire to please Krishna, to serve Krishna. I mean, after all, he definitely deserves to be served, right? It's like Radha Swami, he's one of my favorite devotees in ISKCON. So when I see him, I want to do some service. He's a nice devotee, He's doing amazing service, making so many devotees. So you actually want to do something for him. So Krishna's doing everything for us. Like we can have breakfast this morning. All this nice prasadam is coming from Krishna. We go outside and the light outside is coming from Krishna. This knowledge is coming from Krishna. So many wonderful things coming from Krishna. So we should feel some gratitude towards Krishna and desire to please him. What's interesting is he's so great. He's so great, but at the same time, he's humble. Krishna's humble. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, cause of all causes, creator of everything, he's humble. Just like at the Rajasuya sacrifice. Krishna went to the Rajasuya sacrifice of King Yudhisthira. The Rajasuya sacrifice is a sacrifice where there's many people come from around the world, and so many people will come in. So Krishna came, and Yudhisthira, knowing Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he got down to pay respects. But Krishna got down before him and paid respects to Yudhisthira, because Yudhisthira is the elder cousin of Krishna. So a little social etiquette there. He's humble. And at this Rajasuya sacrifice, many devotees are doing different things. Like Bhima was in charge of the kitchen. And Karna was in charge of giving charity. He's a very charitable person. Krishna was in charge of bathing everyone's feet. And some of these people were envious of Krishna. But he bathed their feet. That's pretty humble. Right? I remember Radhanath Swami said that we should always feel that we're a new bhakta. Doesn't matter how long we've been in the movement. We should always feel that I'm a new bhakta. Because we are, even though we've been in the movement maybe 40 years, 50 years. That's a short time, just a moment. It's not that long. Although we think, some people join, they've only been in the movement for a few months, 40 years, 50 years. But that's also a short time. Short time, trying to be a devotee. So humility is very important. It's there in Krishna, and it's there in the devotees. So another wonderful quality of Krishna is very beautiful. All the women were attracted to Krishna. Everyone was attracted. Even the demons that were fighting with Krishna, sometimes they'd say, well, pretty handsome fellow there. And then they go on to fight him. So everybody appreciated the beauty of Krishna. Very attractive. Therefore his name is Krishna. Very attractive. And he's very powerful. Krishna is very powerful. Like there's one pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam where there was a person named Satyajit who worshipped the sun god very nicely, and so nicely that he gave him this Syamantaka jewel, and it glowed practically like the sun. And they thought that, and when Satyajit he came to Dwarka, they thought that the sun god had come, and they knew in Dwarka they knew Krishna, he's God, and sometimes demigods would come, and so they went up to Krishna's quarters there in his palace and said, oh, Krishna, the sun god has come. What was Krishna doing? He's playing chess. This game chess has been around for a long time. I'm sure Krishna was pretty good at it too. So Krishna said, no, it's not the sun god. It's his servant has come. So he had this Samantaka jewel. And this Samantaka jewel, it produced a lot of gold. I think like 170 pounds of gold a day. And he would have the brahmanas worshipping this Samantaka jewel. So there was one point where his brother, Bashena, he put it on, and just to show the glory of his family, he went riding, with his Samantaka jewel on, and he went off into the forest, and he got attacked by a lion. And then another personality came. I guess the lion took the jewel also. Another personality came, Jambavan, who was, in the Krishna books, it said that he was the most powerful of living entities on the planet at the time. Powerful. He had been around since Lord Ramachandra. He was a great devotee. He fought in the battle against Ravana. Yeah. Lived a long life. Powerful personality. So he killed the lion and went into his cave. So Krishna, actually there was a conspiracy that Krishna had taken the Samantaka jewel because he mentioned to Satyajit that he should give it to Ugrasen, the king. But he didn't want to do that. So when Prasenna didn't return, he thought that Krishna had killed him and taken it. And it spread around Dwarka that Krishna had done this, defamed Krishna. So then Krishna, he didn't appreciate that too much, so he went out and he tried to find out what actually happened here. So he found Prasenna, he found the dead lion. He figured, some powerful living entity, because the king of the jungle is the lion. So he understood that the Jambavan had taken. He went into his cave, and the servant in there saw Krishna in the cave, so she screamed because he's going to take this jewel. And Jambavan, what's he screaming about? So Jambavan, he was angry because he thought he came in to take this jewel. So he started fighting with Krishna. Anybody know how long he fought? Besides, 28 days. Yeah, Darius knows. Yeah. 28 days. Night and day. Imagine that. So, but Krishna wasn't getting tired, and Jambavan, he got a little excited. He got a little tired, like, who is this person? He got a little winded. So then, Krishna, he likes to fight sometimes. He's a kshatriya. So it's described in Krishna book that when Krishna was pleased with Jamba's, it took 28 days to please Krishna with his fighting. Then Jambavan realized, hey, this is my Lord. Who else can fight like this? Yeah. So then he offered beautiful prayers to Krishna. Excuse me? Yeah, he offered his respects, his prayers, and he gave them the jewel and his daughter, Jambavati. Yeah. So then he got the mercy. He got the mercy of Krishna. So this shows how powerful Krishna is. So powerful. Just like before this pastime in Vrindavan, the cowherd boys told Krishna, there's these wonderful fruits in Talavan forest, but we can't go there because there's this big demon. There's these demons there. We can't go there. Dhenukasura. So Krishna and Balaram said, let's go get some fruits. So they went in there, and Balaram, strong Balaram, took a train, shook the tree, and all these fruits were coming down. And Dhenukasura could understand, someone is in my domain. He didn't like that, so he came and he challenged Balaram. And the donkeys, they have their strength in their hind legs. So he went and he gave a kick to Balaram, and Balaram was unfazed. He was a little shocked. He got a good kick. Yeah. So then he came to kick him again, and Balaram grabbed his hooves and swung him around and threw him into the palm trees. And he threw him in such a strong way that many palm trees fell down. So then many more donkeys came, and Krishna and Balaram, they had an ass-kicking festival. Kicking ass. So this is some of the strength of Krishna. Very powerful. And very knowledgeable. Krishna, he knows everything. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjana bhavishyami chibutani mum tavena kashana. I know all that's happened in the past, all that's happening now, all that's happening in the future. Knows everything. Just like I have some pains in my body, but you don't know what the pains are. Yeah. You may have some pains, and I don't know what they are. But Krishna knows everyone's pains, everyone's pleasures. Knows everything. Yeah. Very knowledgeable. Like the Bhagavad Gita, it's spoken 5,000 years ago. It's just amazing. And to this day, it's studied in universities around the world. And big professors are trying to understand the deep meaning. There was one professor who said the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is the 11th chapter. The universal form. He couldn't catch the devotional part of it at all. Yeah. Big so-called professor. Yeah. Couldn't understand. And Prabhupada used to speak about Professor Katansky in Russia. Big professor. Read the Bhagavad Gita, read so many of the Vedas. Swamiji, at the end of the life, everything is finished. Prabhupada was shocked. So many times he would mention this his name is in the books a lot, in the lectures actually. So, yeah, Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, such great, deep wisdom. Spoke it off the top of his head, an hour and a half. So knowledgeable. They were so fortunate to have this knowledge and to be able to give it out for the benefit of others. And by hearing this knowledge, we, as Lord Brahma he says, Shutekshita. Shutekshita means that devotees see with their ears. Shutekshita. Interesting. And then from hearing with their ears, the heart becomes purified. By hearing, the heart gets purified. So this is the power of hearing the message of Godhead, the message of Krishna, that we get purified. And this is why we're here. We're here to get purified. We're diseased. We have this material disease, desire to enjoy the fruits of our activities, and overlording, and all this contamination is there. So we're trying to get purified. And Krishna, he's known as He who purifies. He's so pure that just by coming in contact with Krishna in any way, we get purified. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, taking prasadam, associating with the devotees, hearing the holy name, all these different ways, we get purified. And when we're doing all these things, we're hearing the Bhagavatam, we're chanting, we're associating with the devotees, serving the devotees, all this goes in Krishna's book of things that we've done for Him. So we want to fill that book up. And there's another book, people that are doing so much sinful activities, that's in Yamaraj's book. So we're trying to interfere with that, with those people's lives, and try to get them to do some service so that their name is also in Krishna's book. They bought a book, with all that sinful activity they've done. Oh, look at it. He bought a book somewhere in the part of his life. He did some service, heard the holy name, chanted the holy name. So, this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that He's given this opportunity for us to help the conditioned souls. He's given this opportunity for us to help ourselves as well. Now Lord Chaitanya, he is also quite powerful. It's described that they were in Harinam one time, in Navadvip, many devotees, having a great time doing Harinam, just like here in San Diego, we have a great time going on Harinam. So they were doing Harinam, and some dark clouds came with thunder, and the devotees were like, oh no. And then what did Lord Chaitanya do? He took his cartels and went, and the clouds immediately dispersed. So this is God. Another time they were in Harinam, and they had been doing Harinam for many hours, and Lord Chaitanya could see they were exhausted. So Lord Chaitanya got a mango seed, he put it in the ground, and immediately a mango tree grew. And these mangoes were big, with practically no seed and no skin. And it's described that if they just ate one, they'd be fully satisfied. This is God. And it produced fruit throughout the year, 12 months out of the year. So this is God. This is Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there's one instance, generally Lord Chaitanya, he was non-violent. Actually, there was one time when he was very close to being violent, when Lord Nityananda was attacked by Madai, rascal Madai, hit Lord Nityananda with a pot. He was going to hit him again, and Jaga said, "No, don't do that. Can't you see he's still begging, that you clean up your life? He's so saintly. Don't hit him again." Lord Chaitanya heard. He came with his chakra to kill him, and Lord Nityananda said, "No, Lord Chaitanya, please." Jagai, he stopped Madai. He was going to hit me again. And then Lord Chaitanya, as soon as he heard that, he embraced Jagai. He became purified. Imagine being embraced by Lord Chaitanya. Such mercy. So then, they got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda forgave Madai, and they became branches of the Chaitanya tree. Great Vaishnavas. Of course, they were Jai and Vijay previously. There was another interesting incident with Krishna Das. Lord Chaitanya was in his tour in South India, and there were these personalities called Bhattaharis, and they were kind of like gypsies. They would get women to lure people away, so they lured this Krishna Das away from Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, he's omniscient, and so he went over there too, and he told them, hey, because they were appearing like they were sannyasis, right? So Lord Chaitanya said, you're sannyasi, I'm sannyasi, why are you causing disturbance to me? And as soon as he kind of challenged them like that, all these Bhattaharis came to attack him. So Lord Chaitanya has described that he grabbed Krishnadas by the hair, took him away, and they attacked him, but when they had these weapons, they were going to attack him with weapons, and the weapons slipped out of their hands and were attacking them. And it's described that they were being cut to pieces. In other words, it was a bloody mess. It was like, so don't mess with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he never did anything, but just by his will, he stopped them from doing nonsense. So today is a special day. It is the disappearance day? Two disappearance days. One of Sridhara Pandit, which is Kulavichar Sridhara, who was a great, great, great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He was so great that he was making these banana leaf cups, and this is Navadvip. There's probably so many leaf cups, so he was selling, and half of what he would collect he would use for worshipping Mother Ganges, and the rest he would use for maintenance. He was so poor that he had this shack, and there was holes in the shack, so water would, rain would come through, and he couldn't afford a brass cup, so he had an iron cup. And Lord Chaitanya, he would drink out of this iron cup, and many devotees would drink out of this iron cup. This kind of hurt. It was a little painful for Kulavichar Sridhar. But although he was so poor, he was one of the wealthiest persons on the planet, because he had so much devotion for Krishna, for Lord Chaitanya. And it's described that when he did the 21 hours, Swayam Prakash, that he called for Kulavichar Sridhar. And he said, I'll give you anything you want. Anything you want. And Kulavichar said, no, I want to just continue living my life the way it is. And please, you continue coming. And he would keep bargaining with me. Lord Chaitanya would bargain with him. Why are you charging so much for this leaf cup? It doesn't cost so much. Why are you charging me so much? Lord Chaitanya would harass him. So please, I want to continue my life as it is, with you coming and bargaining with me. He was very happy with that. So I have a little, it's here in the, what is that, no, in Chapati they have that nectar. Anyway, here it is. This is a verse. Behold, I'll just read the English. Behold the great fortune of the devotee Kulavecha. Lord Brahma and Shiva shed tears upon seeing his greatness. One cannot attain Lord Krishna by any amount of wealth, followers, or learning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is controlled only by pure devotion. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very sincere devotee whose name was Kulavecha or Sridhara, and whose only business was to sell pots made of the skin of banana trees. Whatever income he had, he used 50% for the worship of Mother Ganges, and with the other 50% he provided out for his necessities. On the whole, he was very poor, and he lived in this cottage with a broken roof, with many holes in it. He could not afford brass utensils, and therefore he drank water from the iron pot. Nevertheless, he was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He is a typical example of how a poor man with no material possessions can become a most exalted devotee of the Lord. The conclusion is that one cannot attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through material opulence. That shelter is attainable only by pure devotional service. This is here's the purport. Oh, that was the purport. And now today is also Mukunda Datta. He was the brother of Vasudeva Datta. They both sang very sweetly to whatever mood Lord Chaitanya was in. Here's a purport from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada says, Mukunda Datta was once forbidden to enter the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because of his mixing with the Mayavadi impersonalists. When Lord Chaitanya manifested his Mahaprakash, he called all the devotees one after another and blessed them, while Mukunda stood outside the door. The devotees informed the Lord that Mukunda Datta was waiting outside, but the Lord replied, I shall not soon be pleased with Mukunda Datta, for he explains devotional service among devotees, but then he goes to the Mayavadis to hear from them the Yoga Vashishta Ramayana, which is full of Mayavad philosophy. For this I am greatly displeased with him. Prabhupada is speaking about this another time. That he says Mukunda comes and he offers flowers to me, and then he hits me on the head with a stick, because he's preaching or he's speaking this, appreciating this Mayavad. Hearing the Lord speak in that way, Mukunda Datta, standing outside, was exceedingly glad that the Lord would sometime be pleased with him. Actually, I didn't mention that. He says, I'm greatly displeased with him. That's interesting, because he didn't say that he wouldn't. But what happened was, the devotees asked Lord Chaitanya, will he ever see you again? And Prabhupada says in one place that he'll see me after 1 million births. So when they told Mukunda, thinking that he's going to be very distraught, but Mukunda, he started dancing, and he was in ecstasy. And he was saying, I'll see him again. I'll see him again. I'll see Lord Chaitanya again. He was so happy. And the devotees went and told Lord Chaitanya, he's very happy that he's going to see you again. Even though it's 1 million births, he's dancing and he's singing that I'll see him again. So Lord Chaitanya was touched by that. He told the devotees, tell him to come right now. Bring him to me. So they went to Mukunda and said, Mukunda, you can come now. But he couldn't hear them, because he was saying, I'll see him again, I'll see him again, I'll see him again. So Mukunda couldn't hear them say that you could come now. And finally they had to kind of grab him. No, you can come now, come, you can see. Lord Chaitanya is going to want you to let you see him now. So he's like, really? So then he went, got the darshan again. He didn't go see the Mayavadis again. I'll guarantee you that. It caused such pain to him. So he was also a childhood classmate. They would go to school together when they were children. And Lord Chaitanya, he would challenge Mukunda. Mukunda is a devotee, but Lord Chaitanya, he would argue with him. And he would argue with all the devotees. But the devotees, seeing that Lord Chaitanya's brightness, they were all thinking, boy, if he were to become a devotee, whew, boy, that would be fantastic. So then after going to Gaya, he got the mercy of his guru, and then he became a great devotee, and everybody was very happy. So Javita always likes me to tell some book distribution story. So we'll see a couple of book distribution stories. Srila Prabhupada, he once said that this movement can't be stopped. It's too late. Because the books are out there. It's too late. Can't be stopped. And I'll show you how this is true. I'll give you a practical example of how true this is. In Russia, one man got a book from a devotee. They were in one village, and he's a businessman. He got a book, I think Science of Self-Realization or one of these books. Yeah, I'm not sure which one. This is in the 80s. So he read the book. He liked it so much. He read it again, and he read it again. And in the book, it said that, and this knowledge is so important, it should be distributed throughout the world. And he was so inspired by the knowledge that he thought, well, let me do something. So he's a businessman, he had some money, so he went out and he got 100 books printed. And he was out distributing books. He was distributing books, never met a devotee, never had prasadam, just had that knowledge. So he was distributing books. Huh? Yeah, I'm not sure which city. Small town in Russia. So then some Sankirtan devotees came through this town, distributing books, and they approached a person and said, oh no, I got one of these already. Some man said, oh, some other Sankirtan devotees are here distributing. And they approached another person, yeah, I got one. So then after, they spent a couple of days there, and then they finally found this person distributing books, and they saw him with the books and they said, oh, Haribol Prabhu. And he said, Haribol? What's that? You don't know Haribol? Which temple are you from? Temples? There's temples? Yeah, there's temples. You're distributing books. You don't know Haribol? And you don't know there's temples? How is this possible? He said, well, I got a book from somebody and I'm reading it. I liked it a lot, and it said in there that this knowledge should be distributed, so I went and I printed 100 and I've been distributing them. And the devotees were just shocked. Shocked. Here's an example of someone who knew nothing, but he was distributing books. I remember, oh yeah, it's in there. It's coming. The book is just now coming. So there's another one, interesting. This is about a local, TK. TK was distributing books in the LA airport with me. Titikshava Karunika Prabhu. And he approached this man, and the man said, you know, I'm a salesman. Can I sell this book for you? And whatever, but the condition is whatever I collect, I keep it, and I keep the book. All right, the book will be distributed, and whatever I collect, I keep. And TK, you know, he knows book distribution is not that easy. All right, yeah, go ahead, give it a try. So TK approaches somebody, and the person says, "Yeah, this is yoga, meditation. Yeah, it's great, And the man says, "Oh, yeah, I like this." I gave him $100 and took the book. And then he walked off, and the man said, "You see, I told you, I'm good at this." Yeah. And he walked off. And TK put two together. Yeah. That you guys are together, man. He said, "You guys, this is a con. You guys just conned me." It was a con. But they got a book. They got the Bhagavad Gita. That was pretty amazing book distribution pastime. So, any questions or comments about this? If not, do we have something? Dravida Prabhu has either a comment. I hope it's a comment. No, comments are good. Comments are welcome.
Anyway, you mentioned that phrase, Shutekshita, and I remember many years ago when I first read that, I think I was proofreading the book. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
So I'm proofreading the book, and I come across these are Brahma's prayers, I think, for creation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Brahma's prayers. Oh, it's so great. But a few verses before that, because that's a seeing through hearing.
Yeah.
Shutekshita pata, the path of seeing through hearing.
Yeah.
Famous verse. Probably would quote that verse. Ase Shutekshita pato.
Oh.
Takes the seat. Yeah. But a few verses before, he talks about smelling through hearing. And I memorized that.
Smelling through hearing.
Yes, the same thing. Yetu tvadiya chadanamudakosha gandham. Gandha is the fragrance of your lotus feet. Jigranti, they smell karnavivarai through the ears. Wow. Now, my Lord, persons who smell the aroma of your lotus feet, carried by the air of Vedic sound through the holes of the ears, accept your devotional service, and for them you are never separated from the lotus of their hearts. It's a sweet verse.
That's sweet.
I was looking at, while you were speaking, I looked at, and at the end here, there's a wonderful sentence. At the end of the first paragraph. Is it? No, this is a different verse. Anyway, he's saying there that it was the Sankirtan. It was praising those who give out the sound. Give out the books. He didn't mention books, but those who spread the glories of the Lord as the dearest servants of the Lord, because they enable people eventually to experience the Lord in this way through hearing.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yes, Prakash Prabhu.
Prabhu, the devotee that you mentioned in the first story, like
Kulavechar Sridhara.
Yeah. Do you know who he is in the Krishna lila or any?
Yeah, it's actually mentioned in the. No, I don't think so. But let's see. You could be right, but I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah. The cowherd boy named Kushu Mashashva, who joked, he would joke with Lord Krishna, and made him laugh in Vrajabhumi, appeared in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes as the learned Brahmana named Kulavechar Sridhar. So his name was Kusha Mashava. He would joke with Lord Krishna. All right, here's the quote.
So first of all, when I read this verse, it's another one of these prayers of Brahma. And I was thinking of book distributors like that, how merciful they are, because he says, "Oh, great actor," this is Brahma praying to the Lord, "all these poor creatures are constantly perplexed by hunger, thirst, severe cold, secretion and bile, attacked by coughing winter, blasting summer, rains, and many other disturbing elements, and overwhelmed by strong sex urges and indefatigable anger. I take pity on them, and I am very much aggrieved for them." So this is Brahma's mood. He's very, and at the end of this purport, he says, "The devotees of the Lord who voluntarily take responsibility of raising up these foolish materialistic sense enjoyers are as confidential to Lord Krishna as Lord Brahma is."
You hear that? You hear that, book distributors?
I can see they're impressed. This is verse 398.
Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna.
I was thinking Vijay Krishna must be coming on there. Hare Krishna, Vijay Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Vijaya Prabhu, my obeisances. Prabhu, there's a quote related to Mukunda Datta, and it is as follows. Quote, Mahaprabhu overlooked him because he had offended Bhakti Devi, who gives devotional service. Mukunda placed her on an equal level with karma, jnana, or even Mayavada philosophy whenever he talked to followers of those paths. End quote. So, Prabhu, my question is as follows. If the followers of Lord Chaitanya are not allowed to place...
Are not what? Not allowed, okay.
Are not allowed to place Bhakti Devi on an equal level with karma, jnana, or even Mayavada philosophy, how should they behave while participating in interfaith meetings?
Well, if we're presented with any karma or gyan, or we express our understanding, we let them know that actually the highest is bhakti. People don't know about bhakti. There's so much fruitive activity going on, there's so much speculation going on, but very few people know about bhakti, about love for Krishna. And what's interesting is that so many of the gurus from India, they would come to the West, and none of them would teach bhakti. None of them. They would teach jnana and meditation and karma, but no one touched bhakti but Prabhupada. And even they were impressed. Sometimes these guys would be speaking to Prabhupada, and they'd tell Prabhupada just flat out that we're amazed that you presented bhakti, love for Krishna, to these people, to the youth of America, and they're accepting it. They were, they didn't think that it would be appreciated. But Prabhupada was just a pure devotee of Krishna, so that's what he's going to give. So, and that's what Prabhupada gave, bhakti, love for Krishna, through in and through out, just Krishna, 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 love for Krishna. And we could learn from his example, the best example. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki